Well, I'm so glad to have you on our show today. And this audience is always an amazing audience. I want to thank you for everything you've done to help build this show, my audience. You've told a lot of your friends and family and associates about this show, and I'm just so pleased. So thank you so much for that. Well, this show is an amazing show. We're talking about how to generate wealth for you. And before I get to my next guest, I'd like to give a shout out to some of our networks out there. I'd like to just thank the UK Health Radio Network there in Europe. Thank you so much for all you do. And Triangle Health Magazine is part of that. BBS Radio, Flix TV, E360 TV, just to name a few of you guys. AM FM 247 out here in the States. Thank you so much. BBS, thank you so much. So I really appreciate all you do to get our word out. Let me introduce you to my next guest. I'm going to bring him in. His name is Tom Poland. Tom, welcome. So glad to have you. All righty.
G'day, Ken. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Well, let me tell my audience a little bit about you. You know, Tom is a multiple best-selling author. He specializes in generation of high-quality leads and prospects for individuals. He's a sales master, I would call you. He started and sold numerous businesses over the last 39 years and had led teams of 20 people or more, generating $20 million or more in revenue. He lives in Sunshine Coast of Australia, and complete with his wife, his dog, and his tennis court, swimming pool, and private rainforest. I wanted to ask you about the private rainforest. I like that idea. Anyway, he's so much more than that. But Tom, thanks so much for being here.
Oh, like I said, it's a pleasure, but it's a privilege as well. Thanks, Ken.
Yeah. Well, you know, okay, I'm going to start out where I normally don't start out, but I want to know about that rainforest. What's that rainforest behind your house there?
Well, there's patches of it. We live next to a lake and a beautiful location called the Sunshine Coast, which is for those people who don't know Australia. It's about 2 hours flight north of Sydney. There's really no one here, which is really nice. It's my personality. But it's where we live, and it's just beautiful. There's gazebos and guest houses and tennis court and so on, ducks and ponds and rainforest. It's a product of what we're going to talk about. You know, it's that outer world manifestation of what needs to happen in the inner world to experience not only spiritual, I think, prosperity, but also what can go with that, which is financial prosperity.
Well, I think there's a lot of people that are making the shift right now, Tom. You know, a lot of people are waking up here around the United States and around Australia, around the world, really. And, some of them are waking up, they're feeling kind of empty, lost, or wondering what their next step is for them in business or in life. And what's been your journey with that? What's been your experience here?
Oh, look, I think there's so way back when I wrote a book called Your Extraordinary Life, and the foundation of it was to get clear on your life purpose, but that's sort of big picture stuff. And then the next step was to figure out your values. And so I've long held the idea that the way we structure our life, including our work and our relationships and the decisions we make, should be based on what's most important to us, our values. No one else can tell us what our values should be. But once we're clear about that, we then have a framework for conversations and discussions with ourselves even. So part of that is lifestyle. You know, lifestyle has long been very, very important to me. So I've done, for example, over 500 physical appearances and workshops and seminars and keynote speaking, etc. And I decided that whilst that was a tremendously rich experience for me, I had enough, and I wanted to spend more time at home. My kids had left home. I was kind of over the traveling. So that's when I recreated the business so that I could just stay at home and went online. And that was 2007, 2008. I made that transition. I want to underline a key point here, I think, which I reflect upon. The value was lifestyle. The value could be spirituality. The value could be philanthropy, whatever it happens to be. And you'll have more than one value. But I made that decision to go online in 2008. We know that in 2021, when COVID hit, a lot of people followed suit. A lot of people who had previously believed they couldn't run a business or be a contractor or an employee online found that they could. And I think what I wanted to do is just draw a line between a value set, in this case, lifestyle, and being important. I wanted to spend more time at home and not travel so much, and the belief system that often blocks us from honoring that value. You know, here, there were a lot of people, 2021, who pre-2021, pre-COVID, who said, I can't work from home. I have to commute. I have to travel. I have to do all these things I don't really want to do. It's not really supportive of my lifestyle value, but I'm going to do that because I think I have to. And then the world turned on its head with COVID, and now more and more of us are enjoying a lifestyle by working from home and going and grabbing a coffee from the kitchen and coming back to the office, as indeed I have just done. So I guess that's one key lesson for me is get clear on the internals first. In this case, the example is lifestyle, but it could be family, it could be health, it could be whatever, and then recreate the external, what's happening in the outside world, to honor that value, and move through the barrier of believing it's not possible. It's believing something isn't possible is very convenient because it lets us off the hook. We don't have to take responsibility for change. The unconscious regards change as a difficult, uncomfortable process, which it can be. And so it's often backs off from moving through these changes. So that would be my first encouragement to folks is get clear on your values, move through any limiting beliefs, and make it happen externally.
You know, let's talk a little bit about, I know you're a long-term meditator, so am I, and I don't talk about that much on this show. And, you know, I'd like to talk about how meditation works in conjunction with your business. You know, maybe, you know, as we meditate and we develop that intuition, let's go there for a little bit.
Right. Well, I think you immediately made the link between two words which are core to my selfish motivation with meditation. So it's because, you know, as Paramahansa Yogananda once said, I think there's that which is, it is a great meditator, of course, and you and I both learned how to meditate from probably many people, but him included. He said, "There's no really whenever you do something and help someone else, it helps you. So there's no truly selfless act. Just it's a win-win, if you like." And I found meditations like that. I mean, began meditating to increase my level of awareness and consciousness. But I also did a lot of study with Ed Casey Institute. And one of the things I learned there was there's a direct link between meditation and intuition. And you put your finger on it and boom, straight out of the ballpark. You know, let's go to the bottom line is improving consciousness and awareness is really the starting point of choice. If you're not aware of what you're thinking, for example, then you're trapped in that thinking. If you're not aware of the potential for change, then you're trapped in your current situation. What I find is that meditation, it's a slow pot cooking, if you like. It's simmering. It's not a fast boil. So you start and there's no perceptible change. You just get annoyed because your mind wanders everywhere. But over the months and the years that follow, a really interesting thing happens in that in my life, I started to tune into intuition. And so for me, meditation is kind of like, I don't know if you remember those old radios where you used to have to move a dial to try and find a station. It was like that, you know, it was like, or the seek on a modern radio, you press the seek button and it finds a clear signal from a radio station. And that's what meditation does for me. The times in my life when I've been deeper in meditation, I've been more and more guided intuitively. And I don't mean by an emotional feeling like this feels good. I mean the voice or the knowing or the dream or the synchronicity or any one of number of intuitive modalities. But that for me has always heightened through meditation. So it's and I go back to what I said before.
I love that. I love that piece. You know, that's been my experience also. And also one thing that happens is, you know, we've got the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and then we're talking meditation, tuning into the superconscious. And once you can tap into that
100%.
field, you start playing on the creative field of life. What happens sometimes when we're playing on that creative field of life, we get so many ideas coming in that we're not necessarily, you know, you can't do all the things that are coming in. So I'd like to, you know, as an entrepreneur, how do you manage playing on the creative field of life with so many ideas popping in and yet stay focused? How do you do that?
It's a challenge. You know, I go down to the litter box.
You know what, Tom? Tom, hold on. Before we do answer that question, I just noticed I gotta run. I gotta pay for the show. I'll be right back. We gotta take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Are you over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days? I have some important news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. Call now for this free book on maximizing your income in retirement. Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers from leading financial firm J.D. Mellberg. That's right, free. This book reveals little-known truths about annuities in simple-to-understand terms. Grab a pen right now, because we're about to offer you this free book that unlocks the 5 little-known truths we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity, and it's free.
Call 800-615-2282.
As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report. We researched numerous products and summarized rates and benefits of annuities, all from Silac Insurance Company.
Call 800-615-2282. That's 800-615-2282.
Call now.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. Guess what? They want your money and they can take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter right over here that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you right now. So what do? You fight back by letting our team of experts work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And hey, we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws, and we'll fight really hard to save your money. So, if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket. 5 minutes of your time right now can save you thousands of dollars. And the best part, it's a free call, so please call right now. If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you're testing your blood sugar 4 more times per day, injecting insulin 3 or more times per day, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. Not only can a CGM immediately reduce pain, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. We'll also provide free shipping of your new CGM, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 4 more times per day and injecting insulin 3 or more times per day, or using an insulin pump, call now and learn how to receive your new continuous glucose monitor at little or no out-of-pocket cost.
Do you listen to the TV on high volume or have trouble hearing conversations? Then you would benefit from hearing aids. Don't waste thousands on expensive hearing aids when you can get MD Hearing's revolutionary Neo hearing aids for just $299 a pair. Don't be fooled by higher-priced hearing aids. The Neo is a true hearing aid, not an amplifier. With rechargeable technology, many customers say is superior to more expensive models. Call now and get not 1 but 2 Neo hearing aids for just $299. Plus, we'll add in a portable charging dock and ship your order absolutely free. The Neo is nearly invisible with its tiny in-the-ear canal design. And you can get 2 Neo hearing aids with a 45-day risk-free trial, free shipping, and free lifetime US-based support for only $299. So call now.
800-789-7885. Again, that's 800-789-7885.
This right here is confidence in a bottle.
It makes me feel so much more confident than I've ever felt in my life.
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. Not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles. We even have a video, and all he uses is a small amount, and that's how easy it is. And I did this to my father. We were at home, 4 minutes, 34 seconds, completely gone.
My real true opinion is holy
words I can't say on camera. This is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I could feel it just lifting my skin. It was amazing. It feels good. Feels great. Looks even better.
At our $14.95 price, it's the best way to try Plexiderm and see it work after your first application. Call the number on your screen.
Call 800-830-1358.
Whether you're an active person that wants extra supplemental movement, maybe you want to keep your legs active while you work, or you wish to support your therapy at home, or you just want to build strength, increase your mobility, flexibility, and boost your circulation, Ellipse was made for you. Power-assisted exercise that frees your mind to enjoy your favorite seated activities. Just plug it in, place your feet, select your speed, and relax. Ellipse does all the work for you. Call now and order Ellipse.
Are you ready to uplift your thinking, redefine what's possible, and have the energy, passion, and power to accomplish your greatest dreams? Hi, this is kendfoster. For 28 years, I've coached over 10,000 people to see the unseeable, know the unknowable, and do the impossible. Now, I've put the time-tested wisdom principles into my latest book, The Courage to Change Everything: Daily Strategies and Essential Wisdom to Awaken Your Inner Genius. This book changes your thinking as you read it. It's time to change it deep inside. You know this. So come on, expand what's possible, increase your courage, step into your destiny, and order today at couragetochange.us. That's couragetochange.us. When you order today, you'll receive a personalized coaching session with me. Obviously, this is a limited offer. So why wait? Change for the better and order now at couragetochange.us.
Are you feeling stuck or in a holding pattern with your business or life, and you're not doing the things you want or love? Then at some point, you're going to be faced with a decision. You'll either choose to keep living in your comfort zone and risk a life of mediocrity, or increase your courage, step into your power, and forge into the unknown, where everything new becomes possible. If you're truly ready to live masterfully, then you need Ken D. Foster's newest book, The Courage to Change Everything: Strategies and Wisdom to Transform Your Life One Day at a Time. This powerful but simple guide provides you with 365 days of life-transforming wisdom, profound questions, and action steps that will increase your strength and open the doors to success. Stop wondering why your business or life isn't working. The answers are available now. Imagine if you had more courage or another chance to start following your dreams. To pick up your copy of The Courage to Change Everything, visit thecouragetochangeeverything.com. That's thecouragetochangeeverything.com.
Welcome back, everybody. This is your host, Ken D. Foster. We're talking with Tom Poland, and we're talking about foundations in business and tapping into the superconscious mind and how we use meditation to create business success and success in all areas of our life. But right now we're talking about business. Tom, I asked you the question about tuning into that creative energy force that we get, and you get so much energy, so many ideas. How do you manage that when you're in that place?
It's look, it's a real challenge. I go down to the letterbox to get the mail, and I come back with 12 ideas, and I've forgotten the mail, and so essentially what I need a filter. I need somewhere where those ideas sit before I rush off and execute them, or before I distribute the ideas to our team, because it's the bane of their life if I just come in with I got an idea, because I probably sent them in the opposite direction a week ago, and now I'm, So what I do is I have a filter. It's called the shelf. These days, I have a business manager who resides in Florida, and every idea, he's the only direct report on the team. He reports to me, but everyone else reports to him. So every idea goes through Mike, and Mike's my filter. And we literally have, in our project management platform, we use Asana, we literally have a project called the shelf. And every new idea I have goes on that shelf. Unless it can get through Mike straight off the bat. prior to having a team and prior to having someone physically there as a filter to run ideas through, we have a long list of ideas on that shelf, which we can come back to once a month. We can review them, delete the ones that weren't such a good idea after all, and schedule the ones that were. Prior to that, I had a little sheet of paper I called the incubator, and I had a rule that, with rare exception, any new idea had to go onto that sheet of paper called the incubator. I just wrote it down, and I dated it, and I had to stay there for 30 days before I acted on it. So that was the way I managed the flow of ideas. And some of the ideas were pure intuition. They weren't my ideas. That's the way I put it. There was a whisper in my ear, as I put it. In fact, one of my books I've dedicated to Paramahansa Yogananda, to the great whisperer, because I get these ideas. And I know they're not my ideas because they kind of come out 90 degrees out of left field. It's like I wasn't thinking about that at all. I have creative ideas as well that are manufactured probably by the unconscious. But yeah, so I manage it through having a filter. And just to explain to folks the concept of the superconscious, so the conscious mind can hold one thought at a time. The unconscious mind is a repository of all past sensory experiences, all 5 senses and thoughts. It's all there in the unconscious. Sometimes the indexing gets a little frayed and we can't remember something, but it's all there. Whereas the superconscious is the repository of all experiences of all humans, past, present, and future. Known also as the Acacia Library, and that's where these ideas can come from. That's where you can literally get a heads up on the future sometimes. And bringing it back to meditation, as I said, it's a simmering pot, not a boiling one. But that's how I tune in, and that's how I hear those ideas, and that's how I recognize that they're not my thoughts, that they are intuitive from a different place.
That's really good. One of the tools I use is I just ask, is this mine thought? Is this someone else's thought or something else's thought? Right. So,
idea.
Is it programming from something else? So yeah, it's a powerful tool. And that tool has saved me a lot from going down paths that would just take me down paths. So yeah, and so right now, we have people that are themselves. We have people that are trying to sometimes scale their businesses and take it to the next level. We have business people at all different levels. But I like to kind of focus on those that are kind of emerging businesses right now today. People that are maybe reinventing themselves and stepping into a new place for themselves. Tom, when people have worked with you in the past, what they got a new business idea, they're ready to go do it. Other than putting it on the shelf for 30 days, what are some of the steps that you guide people through?
There's a terrific book called what was it? Ready, Aim, Fire, I think it was, Michael Masterson. And Michael Michael was a fantastic entrepreneur, a very wealthy guy in his own right. Was one of the co-founders of Early to Rise and other enterprises. Michael wrote about, you've got this idea, great. And he used the example of someone having, something like lavender soap or something. And they spoke to Michael and they said, we want funding because we need offices, and we need a manufacturing plant, and we need business cards, and we need, back in the day, we had letterheads. We need a website. We need so he said, well, first of all, what you do is this: is you hire a stall out of the Sunday morning flea market in your local town or suburb, and see if you can sell some. But then see if people come back for more, and if they come back for more, then you might have something that's worth investing in. But so we talked about bootstrapping, and I think always remember that. I had another colleague who had an idea for an app, and Mike was here in Australia. He hired a small team in the Philippines. He had a telemarketing team in the Philippines, and he telemarketed into the west coast of the US with the idea of people buying this app. And the app was going to be something like $200. But he asked his telemarketers to try and get a $50 deposit out of folks. This is before the app was developed. It was just an idea. And he got something like 20 orders out of 400 calls or whatever it was. And he said, okay, phone them all, tell them we're not ready, refund all the money, and let's start developing the app. So it's that idea of testing the market to see what sort of response you're going to get before you go headlong into it. The other little clue, I suppose, is the other little exercise, I should say, is specific unmet need. Is there a gap in the market you're filling? If the gap is currently filled, perhaps it is, can you fill it in a way that's differentiated? If so, list 8 reasons, that's my benchmark, 8 reasons why your ideal client would prefer to buy from you than anyone else. And each of those reasons has to be specific. It can't be something like better customer service. It has to be something like we will respond to your query within 30 minutes or money back guaranteed. So mitigate risk, maximize benefit, but express 8 clear reasons with specifics, i.e. 30-minute response time or whatever it happens to be, as to, and if you can't get to 8, you probably don't have something that's going to be marketable.
You know, one of the challenges entrepreneurs have is they hit walls, they hit peaks, and they hit blocks, whatever we want to call them. And you know, I've done this in the past where I've given up and then looked back and went, oh, I should have never done that, which I don't do today. Okay, but how do you guide people to get past those blocks in business when they're starting to hit the wall, right?
Yeah, and it can be an incredibly stressful time. And anyone that's been in business on their own, be they an entrepreneur or a business just starting businesses, is going to hit those bottlenecks. And generally, the bottlenecks bring with them cash flow constraints. So it can be a lot of anxiety generated around the lack of cash and an unstable future, and how am I going to pay for the mortgage or the kids through school or whatever else. So the first thing that I do is I talk to them about similar situations in the past, and I confirm with them that they believe they will get through this, that they will solve the problem. And every single time they go, yeah, I think I will get through this. I think I will. I don't think anyone's going to die. I think I can crack this. It's just going to be stressful doing it. So I said, well, given that we agree that you will get through this, that you will find a solution, can we also agree it would be a good idea to enjoy that journey as much as possible? So
love that. All right, listen, we're almost out of time here, and man, that went by quick. Let me ask you this: you got the microphone to the world today. We're in 180 countries right now, broadcasting this. What would you say your message is to entrepreneurs right now? You know, right now around the world. What would you like to tell people?
I simply back yourself. That's my message: is back yourself. You'll have doubts. You'll have fears, no doubt. We're in the human skin. That's kind of goes with the territory. But back yourself. Believe that you will find a way, because you will find a way if you're committed to doing that. Definitely meditate and calm the mind. It can be as simple as counting your breath from 1 to 10. And when you get distracted at 2.5, go back to 1. It can be as simple as that. All we're really wanting to do initially with meditation is just clear the mind of the doubts and the fears. So the intuitive voices and the clarity of thought can be rediscovered, because it's in that clarity of thought and in the clear mind that the solutions come. So, but beyond everything else, back
Tom.
yourself.
Tom, how can folks get a hold of you? How can they get a hold of you?
There's an email address, tom@leadsology.guru. Stands for G-U-R-U, not so much guru. tom@leadsology.guru. But the other thing is we're always offering a free resource. Get Tom's free book. You'll be able to find my latest book, whatever that happens to be. Get Tom's free book is probably a good place to start if you want something that's free.
Okay. Give me that email address again to get the book. Where is that at? Get Tom's book?
Yes, just gettomsbook.com.
Ah, I love that. All right. Well, Tom Poland, thank you so much for being my guest today. I really appreciate you being here with us. Thank you so much for your wisdom and your brilliant wisdom, actually, that we've been given today. I really appreciate you.
Thanks, Ken. It's been fun. Cheers.
And for all of you, I'd like to thank you for being here and listening today, and hope for you that you will continue to look for and see the unseeable and know the unknowable and do the impossible in your life. Till next time.